Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll show you how I painted my NECRON CANOPTEK SCARABS to a tabletop ready standard. Here we go, here's our NECRON SCARABS, and in this video I'll show you how I got them tabletop ready really quickly, and the paints we'll be using, I'll put a list in the description below, but they're mostly going to be contrast paints and shades. And for the base, I'll be using a Vallejo Earth texture, and this is awesome. Now, while I'm painting these, I also painted my NECRON warriors and another 2 sets of these scarabs at the same time. So this is a great way to speed paint your miniatures and get them painted really fast. There's a few more steps involved for the NECRON warriors, so if you'd like to check out that video, then that's up on the channel already. But in this video, we're only going to go with about 3 or 4 different paints, so really easy. So here's the model, and this is all primed and ready to go. And I used a spray primer, and it's this gloss silver metal spray that I found in a local supermarket in the UK called Aldi. Now this was only £3.99 for 400 mils, making it really cheap. It goes on the models really well, works perfectly, just as good as the others you'd buy from specific brands, but it does take a little bit longer to dry, and I'll leave this for about 36 to 48 hours before I start painting. I'll be using the Citadel starter brush for this video, and to give you an idea of the size, it's a little bit bigger than the small layer brush from Citadel. Right, let's get started then, and the first paint is Contrast Warp Lightning. This is a great green that I'll be using for all these orbs that you can see on the scarabs. So I just give this one coat straight over the metal, and that's going to give us a nice shiny effect. I think this works great. Using contrast paints over metallic paint, this is a really good way to go. You can get some really nice effects. So I'm painting that ball, and also around the inside edge of that metal, and then just picking out these little bits as well. I'm not flooding it with paint, so don't put too much on. Next is Contrast Giliman Flesh, and this is going to give us a really nice kind of bronzy look to the metal. Now I put a little bit too much on my brush there, so I quickly went from one piece to another and then spread that paint around. But the idea with the contrast is just to start and end just brush strokes where you want most to build up, and then just move it around and let it do its job by going into the recesses. Then I took some Agrax Earthshade, and the other paints are still wet at this stage, so I'm just going through it really quick, and I'm just going in all these other areas that you can see that haven't been painted yet. And I've been quite generous with this Agrax Earthshade. I'm putting quite a lot on, really getting it into all the nooks and crannies, and that's going to bring out all the texture of the model and really bring it to life. So these are really easy steps, and this is pretty much it for painting. Just 3 different steps after the priming, of course, and then we're good to go. And for a tabletop ready standard, I was really happy with how this was coming out. Now we'll do some basing with this Vallejo Earth texture. And for that, I've got this Citadel little tool that you can just use it out straight out the pot. Use the thicker paddle to kind of scoop it out, and then when you want to get into the more detailed areas, you can flip that tool around, and then you've got the narrower paddle that can really get it in there and push it in. So just spreading it along, pushing it up against the model. Even on these raised areas, I'll give them a little coat as well, and then that's going to work perfectly. And then just clean around the rim of the base, just getting away any excess Vallejo paste, so that's going to be nice and easy to paint. Left that base to dry completely overnight before going back to that Gilliman Flesh and then giving it one coat all over the base. This is optional, you don't have to do this, but it certainly makes it a lot richer and gives you a nice shade on your base, and I'd recommend a bigger brush for this stage. Then when that was completely dry, I took some base paint, Rakarth Flesh, and a super soft, very vegan makeup brush here. You can see I've got different ones, but this is more of a pointy edged one, which is going to be perfect for getting in there. Put a little bit of paint on my brush, work that into some kitchen towel, really getting it into the bristles. I go back in, a little bit more paint on the brush, and then keep going until you're happy that those bristles are really loaded up. And then I'll work away as much paint as I can on that kitchen towel until I'm happy, and then just gently at first see how much paint's going to come off, and then when you're happy you can be a bit more rougher, a bit more confident with it, and then get that all over the base. And you can see this brush is great because it'll go underneath those scarabs and catch it all. So this worked really nicely, really quick way to do it. And just to show you a comparison, here's one that didn't use the Gilliman Flesh, so you can get a more of a beach look if you don't use that. For the final touch, I took this beige brown 0.87 from Vallejo, a little bit of blue tack on my brush, and that's going to act like a nice little turntable so we can paint that rim nice and easily. And now this beige brown is the same colour pretty much as the Vallejo paste we use, so this is all going to work really nicely. One thick coat or two thin coats, and then that's your model complete. And here we are, here's our scarabs all painted, tabletop ready in no time. And I was really happy with the result for such a minimal amount of effort, just a few paints. I think this is a nice effect. It's also going to work really well with all the other models. So you could spend a lot more time on this going through different stages, but if you want to get it done quickly, I think this is a great way to go. And the colours will all tie in the same theme that I've done with the Necron warriors as well. And that base is going to work for an awesome battle with the Space Marines on a desert planet. And if you'd like to see those Necron warriors being painted, then that video is already up on the channel too. And if you want to pick up some of these models for yourself, I can highly recommend this Recruit Edition or the Imperium magazine. This Recruit Edition is great. You get all these models included, a board, some basic rules, dice, measuring sticks, everything to start playing the game. I think it's great value, even at £32.50. But head over to Wayland Games, you can get it for £25.84 when they've got it in stock, and also Element Games for £27.62. Great value. I'll put some affiliate links in the description below where you can pick those up at a discount, and you also support the channel as I get a small commission. So if you do decide to do that, I really appreciate it, and thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the video and this gave you an idea of how you could quickly and easily paint your Necrons to a tabletop ready standard with mostly contrast paints, a little bit of dry brushing. And I think these are a great army. If you've never painted before or you're not really interested in painting then too much, then these would be perfect. They're so easy to paint, great fun. You can be a little bit messy with it and it doesn't matter, it almost adds to the effect. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.